I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Joe Edwards from Villa Park Car Park. You're the last car left, but for the most important task, Joe, and that is a little bit of post-match analysis. Aston Villa 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, and Joe, it wasn't a classic, as we keep on saying, but 3 wins from 3, and that was pretty professional, wasn't it?
Exactly. I think that's the one word I guess you'd use to sum it up. Professional. Wolves had to, similarly to Bournemouth and the West Ham games, just kind of had to stick it out and be a bit patient. And they got the just rewards in the end. I mean, it was pretty much another case of deja vu. Get to the hour mark, freshen things up a little bit, and the goal follows a couple of minutes later. I have to say, Leander Dendoncker was fantastic today. Getting the goal, of course, to win the game. I mean, he's a kind of a no frills player. If you want, so you could look at him that way. But you can play him in defence, you can play him in midfield, you can bring him on as a substitute, you can have him in off the start. 9 times out of 10... And
he scores goals as well. He scores goals as well.
Yeah.
He knows where the back of the net is.
And he scores goals. He knows where the net is. He's such another important cog really in this Wolves machine. He's not the headline grabber every week, but today he's really kind of risen to the responsibility, and that was a fantastic finish to win the game. It really was.
And I bet you any money when the stats come out after this game, he's probably covered the most ground out of any player today as well. He really puts himself about, doesn't he?
He does. He covers so much ground. I think it was 13.2 that he did against Brighton before the break, so that's the most of any player that has managed in a single game in the league this season. I imagine he's probably done about 10k at least today. I mean, a big part of his game today was to help Ruben Neves keep Jack Grealish quiet, and tick, he's done that. I mean, he can check that box. He's done his defensive duties, and rounded off a really nice move actually for Wolves to get that goal. Adama Traore coming on wasn't perhaps his brightest substitute display, but he still had a hand in that goal, kind of that burst of pace just to create a little bit of room, get the ball out wide to Jimenez. Good cross from Jimenez, and who's between the posts? Johnny Castro Otto. I mean, he's gone from left wing back to have
sensational today.
Fantastic performance from him. Has that nous to be between the posts, kind of chest the ball, hold it up, wait for someone to come from midfield, pokes the ball into Dendoncker's path. He kind of gives the defender the drop of the shoulder onto his left foot, gives Nyland absolutely no chance. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. It was a great goal, and it's another top win for Wolves.
It is. It's a great win for Wolves, and we'll talk about the table in a minute. When they scored the goal, there's obviously plenty of time left in the game. Villa had plenty of chances or a lot of time on the clock anyway, but they just fizzled out. There was nothing there whatsoever, and it couldn't have been a more calm. I mean, me watching the game back at home and doing the watch along, there was never any doubt or any nervousness watching it, because you just sense that they completely controlled the game. They probably controlled the game more at 1-0 than they did at 0-0, I think, Wolves. For a team that's supposed to be pressing and fighting for their lives, the game management was absolutely superb.
It was, and Villa could have played, to be honest, for another 3 or 4 hours, couldn't they? And they wouldn't have scored. I think that speaks to their struggles going forward, but it speaks to Wolves being solid at the back as well. I thought Conor Cody was really good as well. I thought he was one of the top performers. Just bringing the ball out from the back. He's so consistent. And those long-range raking passes really did kind of help Wolves as well. And yeah, it's 7 clean sheets from the last 8 games now, which is remarkable. If you're going to keep clean sheets, it's an obvious thing to say, but if you're going to keep clean sheets, you've always got a great chance of winning games. And thankfully the forwards are doing their bit as well. An unlikely source, you'd say, for the goal today with Dendoncker, but that's what it's all about. It doesn't have to be Jimenez every week. It doesn't have to be Traore. That's something we like to see.
And so many threats all over the pitch. I guess a little bit of a disappointment, on the day was Jota, who hasn't found his feet really after the restart. Had that fantastic chance in the first half. Really, were 2 good chances. Doc, I think, should have done better with his way. Went to the side netting. But Jota, Nyland, talk about putting it on a plate. If he was a very, very, very lucky boy, because that is absolute calamitous stuff. But Jota, like he has before, and pre-break, as Orjan is going through his, a tough time, he just snatched at it, didn't he? He had plenty of time. He could have walked the ball in, to be honest. But he would probably be the one who will be a little bit disappointed at the end of today. And look, they've got a week now to relax, to prepare as well. Other teams are going to be playing ahead, and they're going to be on short rest. There's FA Cup going on as well. But he might be a little bit nervous come to the Arsenal game next weekend because, especially with Pedro Neto breathing down his neck.
I think he's the one player in danger. In danger, but perhaps of losing his place for that Arsenal game. We know Jota, he has these ebbs and flows, doesn't he? And he's in one of those, down periods, so to speak. Had he scored against West Ham or against Bournemouth, with that chance today, he would have buried it. He's just that kind of confidence player, isn't he? That's the type of player Jota is. All it needed was a touch, and then either chipping it over Nyland or just kind of a side foot first time, but he just puts his laces through it and wasn't the right approach. I mean, I asked Nuno about it afterwards, and he's confident that he'll, it's just a missed chance, and we know what Jota can do, and that is right. But you're looking at how well Neto has done as a substitute. Of course, Traore impacting the game as a substitute again. Dendoncker, has made a case for him to stay in the side in a 3-5-2, and now we like the 3-4-3, but he certainly did his bit today. So there's a chance we could see Jota out the side for that next game against Arsenal.
Fifth, and they're going to be fifth for a while now as well. Fifth, 3 points ahead of Manchester United, 2 points behind Chelsea, 3 points behind Leicester City in third. Who, we've said it on the podcast, we've said it a couple of times now, Joe. They will be looking over their shoulders, and they've got a tough trip to Everton as well. So, look, we say fifth's up for grabs, fourth's up for grabs, third could be up for grabs. This is a great period that they're in here now. They've got a week's break, they've got Arsenal at home, and they've got to fancy their chances of getting another 3 points, I tell you.
I'll tell you, and you tell me. And
I will.
And we all tell each other. You got to just be really happy with how Wolves have done, over this past week, 3 games. Some people may think there was going to be a bit of ring rust. Not really. The games are different. There's no doubt in that. They're not as great to watch, you would say, which I think is an obvious thing. But it's all about game management and being clever. And Wolves have handled it expertly so far. They're just seeing the games through, dictating them really. And long may it continue.
Absolutely, we'll leave it there, mate. Get yourself off, get yourself home. Aston Villa 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressthestar.com.